Hey, I'm Larry Janeski from Foundation Support Works and Basement Systems. Both Foundation Support Works and Basement Systems are international dealer networks of basement and foundation repair contractors, and today I'm here with our contractor from Tennessee, Lane Giebers from Frontier Basement Systems, and we're going to talk about foundation repair and what to do if a house is settling into the ground. And Lane, do you see these sorts of problems in your area?
We see it in the entire area that we service. You know, one of the things that we hear a lot of is, well, it's just typical settlement. There's no such thing. It's one of those things that if it's moving, there's a problem.
Right.
If there's something wrong with your body, it's trying to tell you what's wrong, your house is trying to tell you the same thing.
Okay, so we don't want a house settling into the ground. It's not normal, it's not right. And if a house did settle into the ground, what kinds of problems would result?
Well, there could be several things. I mean, from complete failure of the foundation, which would, could cave in. The other parts of it are if you've got typical siding, but we have a lot of brick homes, that brick is going to start to crack, and normally that's where you're going to see, things start to show up, and it's going to move or move away from the house. We've literally seen it fall off the house.
Wow.
So it just, that's one of those things you don't want to wait. You start seeing the cracks, is there something we need to do?
If the whole house settles evenly and it settles a ½ inch or an inch or so, no problem, right?
Right.
But typically it doesn't settle evenly. One corner or one half of the house might go before the other.
Right.
And then we get cracks in the foundation, we get cracks in brick veneer. What other kinds of things happen upstairs?
Well, the things you're going to see inside is all of a sudden you get some doors that don't close like they're supposed to.
Doors sticking.
There'll be cracks in the drywall up above it, or the trim will literally open up.
Okay.
Windows, kind of the same thing, but normally you're going to see it in most of the doors.
What causes a foundation to settle?
Well, you're talking about is differential settlement, and that's where one part's going at a different rate than the other. And it can be from anywhere that what we see a lot of in our area is that it's not a long ways down to actually solid rock. There may be 1 foot to 3 foot, and what happened is, especially with all the weather changes that we've seen in the last few years, is that soil's changing conditions. And that's what most people don't realize is they look at a foundation and go, I got a footing, I got a wall. Well, the third part of it is that, the soil that it's sitting on, and that's what we're contemplating with, that movement that's happening through that.
Okay, so ultimately the soil bears the weight of the house.
Exactly.
And if the soil moves, the house moves.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we have to do to fix that problem of differential settlement and all these cracks and terrible problems that homeowners may have?
Well, basically what we do is we want to put it back on solid ground, literally. And we need to basically go down to the footing, the concrete that's spread that they actually put the block work or whatever on top of, and prep that footing properly. And then what we're doing is we're actually using a hydraulic ram to push down into the ground so that we know that we're getting down to a bearing strata that is going to be capable of holding the weight of the house.
So you push pier tubes, or basically look like pipe sections to people. Okay. Push them down into the ground until we hit rock that is not going to move.
Right.
And then push the pier tubes down through a bracket that hooks to the bottom of the foundation?
Right.
Okay.
And what that is it's kind of like when you look down through your crawl space or basement, you got a set of columns and a beam. Well, now the wall has become the beam, and all these tubes that we're pushing down are columns, and so it's going down and bearing on something solid, and the beam is now the wall. We're at least going to stabilize it and possibly actually lift it back into place.
Oh, you can actually lift the house back into place. So there would be a pier every 6 or 8 feet, depending on the situation?
Depends on the weight of the house, if it's 2-story, single-story, brick, the soil conditions, how tall the wall is.
And the house will no longer settle?
Exactly.
Okay, great. How does a homeowner in Middle Tennessee or Northwestern Kentucky who has a problem like this get a hold of you?
Basically, they just need to give us a call, or they can go through our website, and we'll send one of our trained inspectors out. They'll do a thorough inspection. We'll not only look on the outside, but we'll look at the inside, especially if it's a crawl space too, because sometimes it's just a brick movement. We want to make sure the foundation's what's moving.
Right.
And so we want to do a thorough inspection, and we'll get her fixed up for you.
Great. Well, thanks, Lane.
Thank you.